on with more crazy thoughts from Tumor Town with Bruce. Um, when I left California to come back to Central Florida, it was a very sad situation. You know, all the doors I felt had been closed on me in Hollywood, didn't know when they would reopen. I wasn't sure how to go about trying to restart the search for a career path there. So I basically abandoned ship. Right thing to do or not, I don't know. Was it the cowardly thing to do? Maybe. But, in my mind, as naive as this is, I thought there was still a way for me to follow that path from my hometown. As naive and silly and stupid as that is, I believed it at the time, or I made myself believe it. I thought, okay, I can go back, given what I know now, the experience I have, I can go back and, get the local PBS station, to let me help them make some quality TV. They don't have to pay me, to do it, whatever. So off I went, I got back, moved back in with my mother, set up my little music studio, so I kept, writing songs and recording songs on my own for a while. And, started going around the local television stations. Nobody had anything for me. Nobody seemed really interested in me. And the local PBS station wouldn't even give me the time of day. I mean, I never, to this very day, ever got anyone from that station to even speak to me, which just boggles my mind. It really does. But, that just shows their own ignorance. And, they had a great thing in their pocket if they'd have wanted it, and they just never took it. So, I batted around, doing this little gig or that little gig, and then I landed a job setting up theme parties for a company. I'd, load a truck full of props, take it out and set up the, Hawaii luau theme, or the New York theme, or the Vegas theme, or whatever it happened to be. Take it down, take it back to the shop, put it all back away. It was a gig, it was a part-time, no Benny gig, whatever. But it made me some money, Pardon me, the cancer I cough, I'm sorry. And, it kept me going for a while. And it took a while. I think it took maybe, 6 months, 8 months before I actually finally, cracked the door. And eventually I just, kept going back to all the stations. And eventually the door opened at the local Channel 6, which ironically was the TV station my father put on the air way back when, right? Now, they didn't know that, and I didn't tell them that, I didn't go, promoting it or anything, but I just thought how funny, that I would, of all the jobs I would get, that would be the one, right? So I ended up getting a part-time studio tech job there at Channel 6. So I go in, and I'm still in my, gung-ho, self-motivated, kick-ass sort of mode. So I go in there, I learn studio camera, I learn teleprompter, I learn the Chiron graphics, I learn the audio, I learn on-air switching, right? I learn all the tasks there are that I could be charged to do, just as quickly and efficiently as I possibly can. And I do them. I'm always there early, I'm always there late, I bust my ass, I'm a team player, and I just do the work. But it becomes obvious fairly quickly that there's really nowhere to go, out of that job position. There's no upward movement there that's for me. The only place where there's movement is in the news department, right? The local news department. Because there you have multiple positions and people are moving up the ladder and doing things, right? And you're making product. You're learning a skill, how to be a videographer, how to edit video, all that sort of stuff. So that was far more exciting to me than sitting in production. So I began hawking my nose all around the news department and making kind of connections, little friendships and so forth back in the news department. Now, this is also the time that MTV was coming around. Had just started and was going big. And I thought, well, maybe a syndicated, music video show for markets that weren't really saturated with cable would be a good thing. That might be a sell. So there was a guy that worked there at the station named John who was just as charismatic as you can be. He's a good-looking guy, and he could sell anybody anything. Just one of those guys that just got along with everybody, And so I got with him and the other kids, in the department, and we were going to make a little pilot. I even borrowed a camera system. I went out, I shot some footage of a local band, so I had some, live band footage to play with, this and that, and we had some of the, big band music videos and this and that. And it was going to be, an MTV kind of, VJ hosting. Hey, look, here's these videos. Oh, but here's one of our local bands, blah, blah, blah. Had it all laid out, had everybody there, to do the final, recording so I could have the stuff to put together and make the demo. And the guy did not show up. Stiffed me. Really torqued me off. And left a really bad taste in my mouth. That I had gone to all that length and all that trouble. And he just was, sorry, I just really was nervous and didn't think I could do, blah, 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 whatever. So, I gave up on it. I just threw it away. And I said, to hell with that guy, Now, that wouldn't be the end of him, unfortunately. Well, I guess fortunately or unfortunately, depends on how you're going to look at it. But more on that later. So I turned my attention to the news department, and the news department was where I would eventually find my way into a future path that worked for me. So that'll be next here on my lovely Toombertown Trivia Tales. Trivia Tales from Toombertown. Ooh, that's good. So stick around if you want. Watch the next video, and you'll find out more. Thanks, everybody. Peace, and hang 10.